Alright, hello everyone. So this is going to be the ego follow-up from the last video, and essentially I will be talking about the priority egos for season 4, which is actually very fast because the season 4 egos are pretty much only these two over here, with the rest of them being Walpurgis or Battle Pass related egos. Nothing else really major about the ego releases in this season. Everlasting Faust is just an absolute beast of a character because first off, drip, and then second off, animation, and then third off, 4-coin ego. Okay, there you go. I sold you on this ego already. Nah, I'm kidding. But basically, this thing here is really damn powerful because it will burst 4 times. So if you have the Tremor team and you are using the yellow Tremor, this shit here is absolutely devastating. And this ego also applies 10 Tremor potency, which is the most important part because you need the potency. So this shit here is just really freaking strong. If you can get more resonance, you also get additional Tremor potency. Like, man, this ego here is just an absolutely great ego for the Tremor teams. And so if you are ever going to run Tremor ever in your life, or you love Faust, then definitely get this ego. Look at that drip. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it so much. Alright, so there. Faust ego talked about. Okay. The next one is going to be Ryoshu, which also is amazing drip and animation. This shit here is absolutely great. It is Bayonetta Ryoshu. And also this ego here is actually a very sizable slashing ego to multiple enemies. It can go up to 7 AoE, but you need to get the resonance for it. And also this ego here will also give you 1 ego resource in affinities, and it also gives you this amazing passive where if you use a base attack skill, you will gain 1 additional ego resource for a least own affinity. And if in the future they release content that is going to be more chain battle related, then the moment you just use this ego 1 time and you go into a wave of maybe 3 waves of maybe 6 enemies, you actually farm a crap ton of ego resources just by popping this ego 1 time at the start. So I think that this ego will see a lot more viability in the future, and it's even being used right now as just a slashing AoE ego. So if the enemies are weak to slash, you will just pop it. It's just that this passive over here, this one is definitely going to pop off when we get longer chain battles, or even just maintain at 3 chain battles. Like, this shit here is going to pop off for sure. So I think that this ego here is definitely going to pop off a lot more in the future. I really like it anyway because of Bayonetta. So this is going to be my bias. I think these 2 egos here are absolutely beautiful and must-haves. Alright, now let's talk about the Battle Pass stuff. The Battle Pass egos over here, the Zayin ego of Yi Sang is just super good synergy with the Echoes of the Mana application over here because of the unique interaction where if you do this ego here, you will trigger multiple times of Echoes of the Mana. What I mean by that is because the wording on the Yi Sang ego here, Bygone days, it is going to be randomly inflict a certain amount of sinking between targets. If that sinking hits the enemy that has Echoes of the Mana, you will actually trigger Echoes of the Mana with each proc of the 1 sinking potency. So you actually will trigger it multiple times and you get a crap ton of sinking potency and count. So this ego is really powerful and pretty much can be kind of a pseudo Rhyme Shank, except that this is a Zayin ego. So yeah, this is a really powerful combo with the Echoes of the Mana and can jumpstart your sinking very well. So I like it a lot. I use it a lot. And then we also have the Wild ego Heathcliff. Do I need to say more? This Heathcliff ego makes your Wild Hunt here have very powerful clashing ego in case you are somehow going to lose a clash. But it also gives you the ability to make your 3-1 skill over here do an AoE attack, because this ego over here makes it so your next attack will become AoE. Very strong effect. Alright, so that is why you use this ego, and of course this ego also hits like 7 AoE, so it's just damn strong. Okay, then the last one is going to be the Walpurgis one, which you can't get anymore, but you can get it in the next Walpurgis banner. This ego here is an absolute monster of Solemn Delete from Library of Ruina. Welcome back. This ego here is just ridiculously good because if you can set it up with your Butler Faust and apply sinking on the opponent, then you get to shoot even more, and when your sanity gets nuked, you also heal back your sanity, which lets your Solemn Gregor gets his passive proc, because he loves it when his sanity goes down, then he restores his sanity again because of the nightmares. Then he gets fragility, and he loves having fragility because it's a debuff, and he gets bonus damage because of the debuffs. Yeah, it's just a great synergy with Solemn Gregor, and this ego also is Solemn Delete, and the sound effects is literally Ruina sound effects. It's just so damn good. Ding ding ding, just amazing. Also immaculate drip on this ego. Look at that Gregor suit, absolutely dapper. Alright. Now let's move on to the next one, which is just a useful ego. I've been told that this ego is actually pretty good at restoring sanity. I just really never use it, but apparently this is a very, very good ego to just heal your sanity. And what happens is that you just throw this onto the Linton Gregor because it's in the theft slot. So you just use this in the theft slot and you will be able to just heal sanity with Linton Gregor, and you can use the he ego whenever you want to just solemn lament a target. This one is not even necessary to use because most of the time you're just winning with the sinking team anyway. So not really a big issue. And then the not core ones over here, I'll explain. First off, this one is actually a detriment to the Tremor Soup team because you always want to use Cavernous Wailing plus the Everlasting Faust to do a yellow Tremor plus a white Tremor combo for massive amounts of damage. You don't need other Tremors to come in because the Tremor Reverb, if you accidentally proc this a bit too early or a bit too late, then you actually just waste it. For example, let's say you accidentally use this ego and then you hit the target with the Everlasting on it, well, too bad. There goes your Tremor Reverb, you have to reapply the white, you have to reapply the yellow, blah blah blah. So this actually is a detriment because Tremor Soup can only accommodate 2 Tremors. Otherwise, okay, it can accommodate more, but you need to set it up on the same turn, which is a bit annoying, right? So that's why, because of this restriction, it's a bit hard to assemble all 4 Tremor souls and then do some crazy shit with the Tremors. So that's why I don't use this ego at all. It actually is a bit harder for me to do my setups where I want to do the yellow Tremor into the white Tremor burst, so I can get some crazy amount of burst damage onto the enemy by bursting all of their Tremor. So yeah, this is the main combo. This thing here actually makes it harder to do the main combo because I have to use both of them in the same turn, and sometimes speed will not make me able to do it. Alright, and then the next one is going to be the Electric Screaming Sheep for these two over here. The Dawn one is negative value because you literally are consuming the charge count meant for the skill tree of this Dawn over here. Until they release a multi-crack Dawn in the future, this ego will basically never see use because it does not actually help you to gain charge count. It actually takes away your charge count, which you don't want because you actually just want your Dawn to have it. So yeah, this is a negative value ego here. They probably have to design a multi-crack in order to make this ego worth it again. And then for this ego over here, I would use it, except it's a Theft ego. And Theft ego from Assault is competing with Regret Assault. And Regret Assault will always stare down any other Theft ego from Assault. To the point that I also never ever use this one because it's a Theft ego. You just can't, because this is a +2 coin power ego and there's no reason to use this over this because +2 coin power is just a ridiculous bonus that an ego can give. It's a passive, by the way. It's a freaking passive. So damn dumb. But yeah, this Regret Assault over here is pretty much so damn powerful because of the +2 coin power. Just super strong. Alright, so that's why this ego is not really used. But if you do want to use it, it is a pretty decent support ego that can give charge count to himself and to his allies. And you can also give Envy power up and all that shenanigans. Otherwise, +2 coin power, guys. I'm sorry. Alright. The last one is going to be your Dimension Shredder Otis. Now this ego is down here because I personally don't really see a very high value of Otis. It is fun to run her, but it's also not required to run her. You can straight up just run these 2 charge characters here, plus these 3 charge characters here, and then go and find whatever other ID you want to use from the Unga Bunga section over here. You can also go to down here and just pick up literally like any other charge character down here if you want to get some extra synergy. Like, there is no point, I feel. Like, it takes too long for Otis to actually stack up the charge count, and by then the fight will practically be on its last legs already because your multi-crack Faust has already just slain a crazy amount of enemies. All of these Unga Bunga characters here have also slain a bunch of enemies. It's pretty much near the end of the fight where you start to see this character actually pop off, and if you have to pay a tax of an ego to make sure this character gets to the pop off faster, it's a bit of a waste, honestly. It's a little bit of a waste. At least Telepole Faust, it will actually give this character charge count so she can go faster, and when she goes faster, she kills people really fast. For this one, it just buffs the damage of all of her allies by 5% for the first charge and then 10% for the second charge. It's a bit too slow. If it was a bit higher scaling, I think this character would see a lot more use. But being only 25% for the special charge that she provides, I don't think it's going to be very useful. But if you do want to use her, then feel free to throw this up into the useful category over here. Otherwise, I personally don't like W Otis too much because I don't think she's a very strong generalist or anything like that. But I mean, you can use it to buff all the allies and stuff, but I also don't feel like she's very important for the charge team. The charge team, honestly, by themselves is already just the best already, because all of them just work with themselves. They're very selfish, and then this character here supports them. This one's supposed to support them, but takes a bit too long because by then they already have reached their maximum charge and they're killing all enemies already. So yeah, I don't know. Alright, so that is why this ego is down here. The main egos to talk about here are definitely going to be just this ego here and this ego here as the Season 4 priorities. This one's not available, and then these are going to be the Battle Pass ones. The Battle Pass egos, they will become available to you in the next season if they are in the paid section. If they're in the free one, I recommend grinding the Battle Pass to at least 120 before the season changes so that you can pick up all the free egos, which will save you 400 shards. So that is the recommended play. If you want to farm the Battle Pass EXP, just go to Mirror Dungeon, do the hard mode for your weekly bonus, and do the regular dungeon for non-weekly bonus runs. And just grind the normal mode because you will get Battle Pass EXP even without the weekly bonus. Okay, so that's going to be it for this ego tier list pretty much. All these egos up here all have a use in some way or another, and I'm not going to talk too deeply about it, with Fluid Sac Faust being the queen of all of these egos here, because this ego is just so damn good, being able to help new players just go and clash infinitely with their egos, because this ego will heal sanity for all allies including yourself, and heal allies for HP, give protection to allies with the least HP. It's just a very good oh shit I messed up ego, or oh shit my allies all of the sanity is like -15, let's just heal us back up by 25. It's just absolutely massive. So yeah, this ego in particular is just very useful, and I still use it to this day. And then all of these other egos here, I either use them for statuses or I use them as a tax. By tax I mean I have to use this, otherwise like why bother using the character, and I have to use this, otherwise why bother playing the status, same as this one over here. So yeah, a lot of these egos up here all have some specific use, and there are some others here that I might use every now and then, but not too often that I will actually put them up over here. Alright, and then yeah, you can just prioritize the rest of these yourself. I will leave it up to you. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video here. Just to let you know again, right, all these egos here, they are all available except for these two on the left, because these are the Walpurgis ones. So these are the only two that you need to watch out for, as well as the Solemn Gregor, which is also a Walpurgis ego only. So if you are a new player, you actually can just ignore this one, because basically what happens is that they will come back when the Walpurgis event comes back. So only focus on the Season 4 unique ones, which are these two over here, as well as this D-Shredder Otis if you really want to. And then the rest of this is just Battle Pass. Alright, so that's it for the ego tier list. If I missed anything here, feel free to let me know, or if you have your own favorite ego down here that I never mentioned, like maybe you like Soda Ryoshu because it gives you more ego resources and stuff, feel free to just comment on all of this stuff over here. I did not put any Zains up here, right? Otherwise, I'll have to yap about why each Zain is so damn good, because the Zains are just cheap as shit and they clash pretty good and they have pretty solid effects. So the Zains are just by default going to be a very solid ego. Like look at Body Sack, I always use this no matter what. If I want to talk about this, it would just be here immediately, because Body Sack is like core pretty much for Heathcliff. Alright, so that's it for this video guys. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.